One of my favorite things about Portuguese knitting is that when you do color work, your balls don't get tangled. So the first color work project I did was a pair of socks, and I got really mad because I was still an English style knitter and I kept having to untangle my balls, and I almost quit the project. It was not okay. So with Portuguese, I am working on the unbearable hat, which you can find on Ravelry. See the cute little bears. And when I knit in the round for color work, I actually will turn my work inside out. I am still going to knit on the right side of the fabric, but I want those floats to get stretched out a little bit more, just so it's not too tight. So there's nothing worse than finishing a color work project and having your floats be too tight and you can't wear it. I do want to show you some stuff about main color, so I'm going to turn this back first. So you are going to have a pin on each side if you're doing two colors. If you're doing 3 colors, you'll have 3 pins. 4 colors, 4 pins. I've done 3 at the most. It's definitely can be hard for a lot of people, but if you want to do it, go for it. It is doable. I believe Andrea Wong said she'd done up to 6 colors at once, which is mind-blowing to me. So I have a second pin over on this side, and we'll set up. And again, you want that tension. You're going to hold yarn in each hand. You want your main color, the color you want to pop the most, to be on your right side, and your secondary color to be on your left side. So I made a bit of mistake on my hat in that I started out with the black as my main color. And then when I started my color work, I should have been more thoughtful and made my black my secondary color and the light my main color. And I'll show you why in a second up close. So if you look at my bears, there should be 2 eyes. There are 2 eyes, but you can't see them. This is a very fuzzy, soft yarn. And when I didn't change the black color to the secondary color, I kept it as the main, it's the one that's popping more. And that's why my eyes have disappeared. And that's why his black nose looks like it's popping out a bit. But it's making the lighter parts hard to see. So I'm going to have to go back through and duplicate stitch the eyes on if that doesn't come out with blocking, and I don't think it's going to. So I should have, like I said, swapped so that the lighter color was my main and the black was my secondary. Up here I was thoughtful about it. I wanted the yellow to pop, so I changed. Well, I didn't change, this was my secondary, and I made the yellow the main. So just be really conscious about which color you want to pop and show up a little bit better, and make sure that is the one on your right side. So I turn it inside out. I'm still going to work on the knit side. Now, a true Portuguese knitter who learned that way from the beginning, from people who do Portuguese knitting, and just, you know, it's not just Portugal. There are parts of South America, I believe some parts of Asia that do this form of knitting, but it just got the name of Portuguese knitting. So they will actually do most of their work on the wrong side because the purl stitch is faster, easier. They do their color work, they do pretty much their whole projects sometimes on the purl side, inside out, working on the purl side. My brain breaks a little bit trying to figure out how to convert the increases or the decreases so that they're leaning the right direction, because I am not a pattern designer. So I still work on the right side. And if you want to try working on the wrong side, I have one student who she wanted to do the color work only on the wrong side, so she did basically a little German short row. Turned her work, slipped a stitch, pulled it up to do the German short row, did all of her color work on the purl side. When she came to that double stitch from the German short row, she just purled them together. And then when she was done with the color work, she did the same thing, turned her work, slipped, made a short row, double stitch, started knitting. When she got back to the double stitch, knitted them together, looked awesome. That's how she likes to do her color work. So whatever works for you and your brain, do it. But no, you can do it either way, and you actually will catch the floats either way, the same. So whether you're on the purl side or on the knit side, you catch the floats the same way. And I'll show you that today. So to get set up, I have my project inside out. I have my main color on the right. So you put that in your hook on the right. And then you have your secondary color on the left. And these are twisted, but that's actually not going to matter. I have one in here somewhere. So now I call it laser boobs. You have yarn coming from each side. If you are wrapping the yarn behind your neck, you're going to have one coming this way and one coming that way. This is why your balls don't get tangled. So you have your yarn in your right hand to tension it. So you have your guitar string here that you can pluck on the right yarn. Then you have to figure out how you're going to hold your yarn in your left hand. Let me lean in closer so I can show you. So on my main hand, I have my yarn like I usually have it, just around my middle finger here. On my left hand, I have it going around my index and my ring finger. So do it whatever is comfortable for you and whatever feels the best. Just remember, no wrappy. Now that you're all set up, you've got your laser boobs set, you've got your 2 guitar strings you could pluck. We're going to get started. So I have done 2 stitches in yellow, and I have 3 more to go. So I would like to capture this color on the left, the one that I'm not using, my secondary color. So I've done my first 2 stitches. I usually capture on every 3rd or 4th stitch, depending. But since this is a 5 stitch in a row, I'm going to capture in the middle. So coming as if to knit, I'm going to pop them both over together. Then I'm going to release the left one, and you'll see now they're crossed. I'm going to finish that knit with my main color, my yellow. And then when I knit my next yellow, see how this is crossed here and it is capturing the lighter yarn. So that's stitch 4 and that's stitch 5. So my next couple of stitches are 3 of the light. Now I'm going to go 1 yellow, 1 light, 1 yellow. So 1, 1, 1. And if you look, I am always going above the left one to pick up the right. 1. Now I've got 3 more light. 1, 2, 3. Now I have a stretch where I'm going to have 6. These 6 are all yellow, and then the first 5 will be yellow. So I'm going to capture every 3rd. So 1, 2, capture both together, release the left, they're now twisted, do the next stitch, and that does your actual capture. 1, 2, together, release, complete. 2, 3, together, release, complete. Now, if I want to capture the main color, so next I have 5 of the light color. 1, 2, on the third one. This time I'm going to go above the left. I'm going to pick up the main and I'm going to go the wrong way around. See how I twisted that? I'm going to show you again. Oops. Above the left, pick up the main color, the right color, bring it under to wrap it. Now I'm going to pick up both together. That will effectively unwrap the main color and twist them at the same time together. And then when I do my next stitch, it traps the yellow. So I'll show you that again. 1, 2, above, wrong direction, pick them both up together to pluck it around. That undid the yellow, crossed them, finish the stitch with the left yarn, then do your next stitch, and that traps the right one. Even if you have multiple colors, you are still going to do it the same way. And I'll show you here too, if I switch to the purl, if I'm purling with the yellow, both together to capture this one, undo that, finish, they're crossed, next stitch back with the right yarn, the yellow yarn, and that captured it. If I'm working with the left yarn and I want to capture the right yarn, I do the same thing. Under the wrong way, both at once to take the right yarn off the needle, twists them, finish the stitch, complete the next stitch, and it's captured. So whether you're doing it on the knit side or the purl side, you are capturing the same way. That is really it for color work. If you've got multiple colors, again, you're going to have a pen for each color that you're working with at the same time. If you are only working with 2 colors at a time, but maybe you have 5 colors in your project, then you're just going to swap them out for what you're working on. You'll notice while I was doing the color work, I did not have to stop and untangle my balls. I have my main color on the right, my secondary color on the left, and because of how you capture the floats and hold your yarn, the balls never get tangled until you put them in your project bag, and then I can't help you. That's it for color work and for Portuguese knitting. If you have any questions, I am at the Tangled Ball a lot in Denver, Colorado. So come find me, come take my class in person if you'd like to.
I have a lot of homework to do. Stacy, thank you so much. Bye guys, thanks.